The church of St James at Staunton, Gloucester. It's in a manorial setting, which means it's snuggled up to the manor house. There's the church. Whether the church came first and then the manor, or the other way round, I'll leave you to ponder. I suspect the lord of the manor was edging his bets, to be honest. Perhaps shows it in its best setting, next to the manor house. Original farm buildings, now turning into industrial units. They're still there. The old barn. We've got to include this yew tree. Oldest in the country apparently. Reckoned to be over 2,000 years old. That's right, 2,000 years old. I asked Pauline if she could remember it being planted, and she threw something at me. Can't please everybody. The girth of the trunk was measured some years ago and found to be 25 feet. Well, we've done churchyards. Still seems to be plenty of room in this one. That looks to be the older part of the burial plots. The modern entrance to the tower looks like a sentry box. The old entrance, which on the inside has been bricked up, we'll see that later. You can see the circular staircase. Oh, I'm struggling to get an angle here. I think that's got it. Oh, there's the doorway. Fine old hinges on there. Lovely. And look at the door handle. Wow. It's not a modern addition, that's for sure. And looking out over the churchyard, to our right is the wall of the church. Sandstone blocks, it looks like. Not weathering too well, though it's been here a while. Interesting view. Trouble and strife. A fine old porch. The church actually dates back to Norman times, and if we look between the porch and the east end, that's where the Norman stonework is. Stone there, laid by the Normans, but if you take a close look down the bottom, there's some herringbone pattern, which suggests an even earlier date, and the old church is still standing on those foundations. The tower and the spire are 14th century. The porch with flowers. Little flowers. And the nave we're in now, 14th century as well. The chancel, on the other hand, rebuilt in 1650. And while they were at it, they built the vestry. There used to be a gallery here, and up above the pulpit, you can see the entrance. The windows date back to the mid-1800s by Alexander Gibble, That's both ends of the church, the east and the west. You're looking east. Good work. The west window, on the other hand, is of the perpendicular style and was built in the 1500s. You're looking east. The pillars separating the nave from the north aisle are said to be unusual and interesting. There you can see a 14th century recessed tomb set into the south wall, complete with some sort of mural, I should think. Memorial. The main nave then, looking west, and if we look at the northern transeptual aisle, down this far right hand end was a lady chapel, of which only the roof remains. So that's kind of barrel vaulting. Then it changes to the more modern style down there. So the old chapel then survived the main restoration. There's a Horton memorial there, family memorial. And the lady there was reputed to be related to Dick Whittington. The old font here, now unfortunately damaged, was said to belong to a Roman altar, so Roman origins. The pulpit is quite interesting. As you can see if we pan down, where a piece was added, making it taller. I expect the old vicar kept falling out. A nice lectern, complete with light. St James Church, Staunton, Worcestershire, it says there, because it used to be in Worcestershire. Now it's Gloucestershire. The organ, now as my wife calls it, a bit moth-eaten, is up for replacement. Some lovely decorated pipes. Off to the left you can see the bricked up doorway to the tower. That's not the first church we've seen with this arrangement. Quite why they move it from inside to outside, I don't know. Here in the Belfry then, got some memorials on the wall. A bell ringer laid to rest. Look at that old spike below this monument. I wonder what that purpose was, and that was inserted. The west window, which has a story to tell, was damaged by enemy action in the 1940s. And it was rebuilt in the 1950s. Look at this lovely old door here. That's a substantial bit of work. The old clasp there. And then this lovely old lock. Seen some action, that one. And the door studded on the outside. So that concludes our visit to St James Church, Staunton, Gloucester. Hope you found it interesting. If you did, then come and have a look on the Parkinsons Walks channel. Something new goes up most Fridays, and we'll meet you there. Meanwhile, take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on the next one.